Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today's vlog is probably mostly cats, I think. Some other stuff too, like I show you the vintage wallpaper that I found and I actually have put it up. It's not finished yet, but this is just morning time. The cats usually come in, especially Joan, because she's excited for breakfast, so it's very cute. We're just playing a little bit. I make them wait for breakfast until both John and I are up. That way they don't get used to just waking me up at 3 in the morning to get food. So usually around between 6:30 and 7. So they usually just hang out in my room with me until John gets up he usually gets up around 6:30. So I keep this toy in my room. I keep a couple in there actually just to keep them occupied sometimes, especially Betty. But Joan is so sweet. She always gets up on my lap or something and sits on me. I think it's her way of being you're not going anywhere without giving me breakfast. And I think Joan has taught Betty, I call it the famine flop, because Joan's very dramatic about food and she comes in the kitchen and flops on the floor like she's about to pass away from starvation. But after they eat their breakfast is when they like to play, so they usually run around like crazy for a while. I'm packing John's lunch for him. This week I made him some barbecue chicken subs, but they were actually just tofu. But I was making myself a tomato sandwich because I've been craving them. I still haven't found any heirloom tomatoes, but I did get some regular tomatoes. So I got my favorite gluten-free bread and the last time I got groceries, so it was perfect. And I added a piece of cheese too. Cats are still running around like crazy. As soon as I turn the TV on, Betty hears the TV come on and she runs into the living room if she's not already in there. It's very cute. So I was watching a little TV with Betty while I ate my sandwich and drank my coffee, made my to-do list, and then usually they fall asleep for a long time after that because they've eaten, and then they run around like crazy and get super tired. So it's cute. Betty usually sleeps on the couch if she's not sleeping in the window, and she gets very comfortable. It's so cute. I wish I could sleep like Betty because she looks so comfortable. I absolutely love when cats especially put their hand over their eyes. It's so cute. So I was gonna make this for John because I had a couple sausages I cooked a couple days before, and then I had some green pepper and onion and celery I was gonna add to it. He really likes that. His Satiran, so I was gonna make that for him as kind of a quick thing I could make. It made 2 dinners, so it was perfect. Getting the kitchen cleaned up. Betty, both of them are still sleeping. Betty was crashed. So cute. And then I noticed that Joan, if I leave my bed unmade, she'll curl up in the bed. So I've just been doing that now for her. So that's where she usually goes if she's not in the living room in the chair. It's very cute. And Betty is upstairs now doing her neighborhood watch. It's I've never seen a cat be so fascinated with the outdoors like that. But eventually she'll get too tired and she'll almost start falling out of the window or the chair. So then she kind of falls on the bed and just crashes. So cute. I like how she has one leg is orange stripe and one is gray stripe, so it's she's wearing mismatched socks. So this is the next day. My tomato sandwich was so good I had another one the next day. The cats are doing their run around after breakfast routine. Betty's getting so big, but she still looks so tiny compared to Joan because Joan's so big. So, but I was looking at her the other day and I thought, oh, you're getting so big. It was actually on Sunday, it was 6 weeks since we adopted them, and Betty was 9 weeks when we adopted her. So she's almost 4 months this Sunday. And Joan was 1 year and 4 months when we adopted her, so she'd be 1 year and 5.5 months. So Betty doing her little like suck on the blanket routine. It's so cute. She does it for probably like a half hour and then she falls asleep for a long time. Joan loves her chair though. This is where she is like 90% of the time, and this is usually where John sits, but no, he just lets her sit there if she's already there. So this is the next day, and this was so cute. So it's the morning, and my back was really sore, so I had my knees raised up, and Joan just came up and got on my lap and like leaned against my knees. I turned the light on so you can see because I realized that the camera was dark, but she's just leaning against my knees. It was so cute. Oh, I love her so much. She's such a sweetheart. She doesn't often like lay within reach of your hand, so whenever she does, I try to give her so much love and attention so that maybe she'll keep doing it more often. But Betty was watching us from the chair. She gets kind of jealous because she's used to getting a bunch of attention, but she was yawning, and so I did a little close-up. I think she looks so funny when she yawns. It like cracks me up. I feel like the video doesn't even really do it justice, but her face somehow gets really long and she sticks her tongue out almost. But every time I see her do it, I'm like cracking up. But Joan got really nice and settled in there waiting for breakfast. So on this morning, I haven't had this in a long time. I was like, oh, I should try something different than tomato sandwich. So I had some avocado toast, which was so good. I did some laundry, and the shirt that's hanging up here, we bought to resell, and it had like a stain on it, and so John was gonna like throw it away, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I feel like, because it's a really good seller for us, I was like, oh, I feel like I could maybe get it out, and I did get the stain out, so I was very happy that day. So I was just letting it air dry. Joan, they had in their fight in the morning, they had pulled the blanket down on the floor, and before I got a chance to put the blanket back on the chair, Joan just got in the chair. We usually put the blanket there for comfort, but also it keeps the fur from the chair. But then before, I just noticed that she had got down on the floor to lay on the blanket. So, and then Betty had gone over and laid with her, which was so adorable. And I was going to do a load of towels, and I noticed that before I was about to throw the towels in, I noticed Betty was in the dirty towels. It's like, she tried to do it the other day too. I don't know what it is about dirty laundry, but so that night, this is the next day, but that night we went and got this vintage wallpaper, which I am so obsessed with. I just, for the hell of it, thought, oh, I should check on Facebook Marketplace and see if there's any vintage wallpaper. And I found a listing for these 2 rolls combined for $45. We did have to drive an hour to get them, but it actually came from Zellers, and I can tell by looking at the tag that this is like 70s era, because the font that they use for Zellers was different in the 80s and 90s. So this is like a much more plainer font. Plus there was no barcode either, and it was only $3.33 for a roll. So I'm gonna say pretty confidently that it's probably 70s, like early 70s, maybe late 60s. I don't know, but I saw it and I was like, oh, this would be perfect for the entryway. So we drove out and got that when John got off work the previous day. So when I opened one up to kind of see it, so good. And at the end of the video, I put some up. I'm not finished yet, but I wanted to show you in this vlog. So I showed you what I have done so far, and it turned out so much better than I even could have hoped for. Like I can't stop staring at it because I love it so much. I'm so happy that I did that. So when John came home from work, we watched a couple episodes of Sopranos while he was eating his dinner, which we hadn't watched in such a long time, but we were watching Pine Barrens, which is our favorite episode, and so that was exciting. Joan's this is what she does when she's waiting for dinner. So we just give them a little bit of wet food at nighttime. So this is the next morning. Joan's in here trying to get food. She likes to get up on my vanity. For a little while, she was like picking up my makeup brushes in her teeth and trying to run away with them. Like, what are you doing? But she hasn't been doing it lately. But every time she jumps up, that's what I think she's gonna do. It's just really been so wonderful having cats again. They've brought like such a joy to our life. We can't imagine, like, it's only been 6 weeks, but it feels like they've been here with us forever. Anyway, when I woke up on this day, Joan was actually curled up behind me, and Betty was curled up in front of me, which was so adorable. We're just waiting for food. Betty really fights sleep as long as she can, so I was looking over at her and she clearly was about to pass out, but she was just trying to sit up and stay awake. It was so cute. I think she's just like so excited for life and anything going on and playing with Joan or looking out the window. It's very cute. I was trying to catch her. I think I got her for a second, but a lot of times Betty will stand like a meerkat, like up on her back legs. I think I just grabbed a second. I've been trying to get it on, like record it for so long, but I'm just having one of my like quinoa bowls and doing some laundry. Cat's just hanging out. Betty is such a dirty fighter. She will always go for Joan's tail, or she bites the back of Joan's like legs or her ears. Like, she actually cut Joan's ear one time. So funny. I was so afraid of Joan hurting Betty because of the size difference, but it's the opposite now. I feel like I'm more scared that Betty's gonna hurt Joan, but then Betty had a little tussle with her penguin. John bought her a few weeks ago. She loves that. And then later, Joan was like sleeping next to it. It was so cute. So on this day, I woke up feeling really, really sick. I had a really bad migraine. So the cats were keeping me company for a little bit, and I just kind of laid there for hours and hours. I was doing this pain meditation. But after a while, I was also starving the whole time. So after, I think it was around 1 o'clock, John went to this place and got us these veggie burgers. We haven't really gone there much this year, and we just split fries. And Betty was very intrigued, so we were just eating in my room because I still couldn't get up. But we just watched a couple episodes of Sopranos, and then later that night, we just laid down in John's bed and watched this Disney movie, The Aristocats. It's one of my favorites. But since Betty loves watching TV, she came in the room and saw it, and she just immediately jumped over and started watching like right in front of the TV. It was cute. And it was really cute. She doesn't normally do this very often, but Joan came in with me at like right when I was going to bed and just laid next to me, which was so cute. She must have known I wasn't feeling well, so I was just soaking up that experience because it just doesn't happen that often. But then, of course, something spooked her. She might have hurt Betty or something, and she just took off running, so it was pretty short-lived. Thankfully, I woke up the next day feeling fine. I got a good night's sleep. The previous night, I'd only slept for about 2 hours, which probably caused the migraine. But I was really upset because it was Sunday, so John and I were going to put up the wallpaper together, so we didn't get to do that. But I was having my coffee, made my to-do list. This was Monday, so yesterday. Joan's so cute in her chair. So I wanted to get some things tidied in the kitchen and some food prepped so that like nothing goes to waste. So I spent a little bit of time doing that. I just wanted to make sure that everything was getting used and all that. I was going to make some chickpea salad for John for sandwiches for lunch for this week. So I was doing that. I was going to make some homemade hummus too, because we were almost out of hummus, and it can be like, I usually only buy it on sale because it's like $5 for a little thing of hummus. So, and hummus is really easy to make too. And I feel like somebody may have asked if I would show how I make hummus, and I didn't end up doing that, but it's super easy. It's like, I don't follow a recipe. It's like 5 ingredients. It's like chickpeas, tahini, lemon juice. We put a ton of garlic in. Like I probably put like 20 or 25 cloves of garlic in there because we just like it, and oil, or sometimes I use water. Like if you look up any recipe for hummus, it's super easy. You just blend it all together in the food processor, and it makes a lot, and it's way cheaper than buying it. So anyway, I did that, did a few other things, and then I really, really wanted to put the wallpaper up because I was so excited about it. So I was like, I could probably do this by myself. So I was thinking about, should I do it? Should I not do it? And then I just thought, well, I'm just going to go for it. I did wallpaper the kitchen by myself, but that was like a lot easier because it wasn't like a full wall or anything. But I was just so excited, and I didn't want to wait. Like John works really long days, so he gets home kind of late. So I didn't want to like try to do it when he got off work and like together. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and try it. So very excited. And I did say that it was ready pasted, and it didn't occur to me until this very moment that when I wallpapered the kitchen with the 60s wallpaper, like I had to use additional adhesive. So I was slightly concerned at that point that maybe it wouldn't hold. But my plan was to spray it with the like mist spray bottle, and then I had a sponge to kind of spread it around. So I ended up, I'm so obsessed with this wallpaper. I can't get over how good it looks. It's like exactly what I was envisioning the entryway looking like. So I'm so excited for that. So the last time I wallpapered, I had bought this little kit on Amazon, so I went downstairs to look for that, hoping I would find it, and I did find it. It's just like, smoothers, and then it comes with this really sharp, like almost X-Acto knife type thing for cutting it. So I was excited that I found that so quickly because I hadn't seen it in probably a couple years. So and I did also find like a cheap sponge, so I didn't have to use my more expensive sponge. So I decided to just do a tiny piece above the door and then let it like fully dry to make sure that it was going to stick. And then while that was drying, I was going to take everything off of the walls and stuff. As soon as I took the baby gate down, the cats were like instantly right out there, like, what's out here? So as soon as I got this one piece up though, and I stepped back and looked at it, I knew that it was the perfect thing for the entryway. So I let that dry, and it turned out fine. So then I decided to do a full wall piece, just in case, so I wanted to let that dry too. And also I discovered that this was not going to be perfect because the wallpaper is so old. There was imperfections. But I decided, like, if I moved into a house and they had vintage wallpaper up and it wasn't in perfect condition, I would still keep it up because it's amazing. So I was like, just think about it like that. Although it's not as bad as I originally thought it might be. So anyway, I got that up, took a little break, and had one of my quinoa bowls. Hung out with little Betty for a little bit because I wanted to make sure that the full piece wasn't gonna fall off the wall. I had these visions of me spending all this time doing it and then the wallpaper falling down, but luckily it did not. It dried perfectly, and there had been like a spot that I had seen, but then once it was dry, I couldn't find the spot. So I think it may have just been where the paper was wet. It was like making it kind of see-through or something, because if this wallpaper is like from the 70s, it's like 50 years old. So, but anyway, I got really excited to get the other pieces up and get this wall fully done. So I had got everything taken down, and it was very tedious though. It was super tedious because the wallpaper itself is very delicate, like when it's wet and dry, but I got this much done, and so I wanted to show it in this video. I really wanted to get the full thing done yesterday, but I couldn't do it. It was like I was so tired. But this is what it looks like. I do need a tiny little strip above the closet there, but I am obsessed with it. I can't stop staring at it. I just think it turned out perfect. Completely changes the vibe of the entry. And even though it's not perfect, like, it really doesn't matter, because it's not like you spend a lot of time in there. You know, you come in, you walk in the house. So if it was like in a room where you were just staring at it, it might bother me a little more, but I think I did a pretty good job matching it up and everything. So I don't know, I'm just obsessed. I was so excited to show you guys. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again with a new video soon. I think I'm going to do a vintage recipe, actually. I've been wanting to do it for a little while, so I think I might film that tomorrow, and then maybe that'll be the next video. But this weekend I am planning on going thrifting for the first time in like forever, so I am planning on filming some thrift with me. There's something about fall that really makes me want to thrift, so I think taking a break from it for a while was probably really good. So hopefully I'll get some good thrift with me videos this weekend. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.